Hey everyone, if you've recently purchased or rented an e-beach wagon, this video will serve as your quick startup guide. It doesn't cover everything in the owner's manual, but it is enough to get you on your way. So let's dive right in. Okay, let's get started with your control panel. On the right hand side you have your key on off switch, then you have your charging port. Now be careful, this key on off switch, the lid goes up and down. On the charging port it rotates, so you rotate it instead of pulling it out. This is where your 3-pin connector is, where you charge the wagon. You'll be given a charger with your wagon, and on the one side is your 3-pin connector. There's a little arrow, that arrow goes on top when you push it into the charging pin there, and then on the other side is just a regular plug that goes into a 110 outlet. There are 2 battery indicator lights. The top one is the power, that'll light red when you plug it into the wall, and then there's a charging light. That'll initially light red when it's charging, and then when it turns green, you know that the batteries are fully charged, and then you can unplug the charger. Typically, if you charge after every use, it'll take less than 2 hours typically. If you really run the battery down by walking at long distances, then it could charge anywhere from 2 to 5 hours. And then on the right side is your USB charging ports and your battery indicator. The USB charging ports can be used to charge your cell phone while you're on the beach, and the battery indicator is used like your vehicle's gas gauge. The wagon and the charging ports and battery indicator will not work unless you have the key in the on position. So to get started, just turn the key on by twisting it to the right. You'll hear a click on the wagon. That means you're ready to go. And then you'll need to turn the power button on, which is right on the right hand side here, to turn on the battery indicator and the USB charging ports. Right now this is reading 26.3 volts, which is almost fully charged. The wagon will power itself until you get down to about 23 volts, and then the motor will not work anymore. You'll get about 5 miles off of each charge depending on how much weight you're carrying. So that should be plenty of distance to get you to the beach and back. And when you get back from the beach, that's when you'll want to plug it in to charge it back up for your next use. While I'm down here, I'll show you the easy, quick disconnect for your handle. If you were to transport the wagon, you can easily take the handle off. I'm going to just go ahead and turn the wagon off here. There's a safety pin here you just pull off, and then underneath the wagon, you just press the little button on your electrical connection and unplug that, and then you can lift the handle right off, and now it's easy to transport like inside an SUV or something like that, so that the wagon handle doesn't fall while you're in transport. To plug it back in, simply take your plug and plug it right back in, and you're all set, ready to go. And then on your controls, these are your hand controls here. This is your forward reverse switch, and this is your thumb throttle. On your thumb throttle, you do have a battery indicator. I would not use that. That's not very accurate. If you want to tell how much power you have left, always use the battery indicator down here. So when the wagon is turned on, up here, or the number 1 is reverse. When you hit the thumb throttle, it goes backwards, and forward is down, or number 2. Hit the thumb throttle and it goes. Now there is some hesitation built into the throttle as a safety feature. So when you start off, do not floor the throttle. Similar to a car, you don't floor the throttle in a car. Just press it down a little bit, wait till it starts moving, and then you can speed up a lot faster than you can slow down. So until you get used to the speed, just press the throttle down a little bit, let it start moving, and then you can increase by pressing the throttle down further. If you do forget to charge the wagon all week long on vacation, and you do run out of power on the beach one day, we do have a neutral gear to get you off of the beach without having to carry the wagon. The neutral gear will work when you have less than enough power to run the motor. That switch is right in the middle. However, there are still brakes on the wagon, so you can't move it until you release the brakes. And the way you release the brakes is by hitting the thumb throttle. That releases the brake. Now you can push or pull the wagon in manual mode. To operate the wagon, you want to stand in front of it, hold the handle like a regular wagon, and you use the handle by pushing from side to side to steer the front wheels. You'll hit the thumb throttle and then you'll walk with the wagon. So hit the thumb throttle. Once it starts moving, then you just walk with the wagon.
To stop, simply release the throttle and the brakes will engage until the wagon comes to a stop.
Now when loading your wagon, you want to distribute the weight evenly. Most of the weight of the wagon itself is in the back where the mechanical and electrical components are. So if you were to put all of the heavy weight in the back of the wagon, that would create lift and make it difficult to steer. So therefore, try to place your heavier gear up front and your lighter gear in the back. That way you won't have any problem steering while you operate. One of the features that makes our wagon unique is our built-in umbrella pole holders. To use them, simply remove one of the railings, and on these side railings you want to use two hands, lift straight up, put it off to the side, grab your umbrella pole and stick it right down through the hole in the frame into the sand. On those really windy days, to help hold your umbrella in place, you can dig a hole in the sand to help support the umbrella pole, or we sell umbrella clamps on our website that you can place right underneath the frame to help hold your umbrella in place. Be sure to read through the latest version of our owner's manual that is found on our website. On page 4, we list all the warnings. I'll go over a couple of them here that are fairly obvious but very important. Never operate the wagon while sitting on it. The handle was not designed to be steered in this position while all the weight is on top of the wheels. You're likely going to break the handle if you operate the wagon while sitting on it. Also, the wagon is weather resistant, not waterproof, so it's okay if you get caught out in the rain, the controls will be fine. However, if you leave the wagon on the beach and high tide rolls in and it submerges the wagon in the ocean, it's not going to work after that, so be sure not to submerge it in water. Well, that's all I have for the quick startup guide. Feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email if you have any questions, and remember, go enjoy the beach.